Earlier on, while we were handling the press review, we told you about the discussion that we'll be having this morning, and that is talking about Nigeria's acceptance into the BRICS, the implications of what that will bring to us. And you know that BRICS is the Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, a coalition of countries. These are countries that are doing great things in their own capacity. And then Nigeria being one of such parties and probably being accepted. There are a whole lot to benefit the country. But let's see how it goes and when we definitely get to that point. And in the studio, we have people that will be discussing the topic this morning. And we have first Chukwu Nonso Ekesiobi, lecturer, Department of Economics, Chukwuemeka Odumugu, Jiku University, Ibaria. Good morning, Doctor. I forgot to include that, Doctor.
Good morning, nice to be here.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure having you here. And then we have also John Ifejika, who is a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Mr. John.
Good morning.
It's always a pleasure having you around. And I'm not alone. I still have my co-anchor here with me talking about the amiable Noye. Noye, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm great.
It's always
and
good.
I'm happy you're greater. All right, when you talk about countries having what it takes to be a member of maybe a union or a community, Nigeria, as you know, has always been a great country, though we have we are battling with some little things here and there, which is not, we are not just the only country. Now, Ifejika, let me come to you. When you talk about BRICS, can you give us a holistic interpretation of what it stands for as a body, association, or whatever they call it?
Yeah, it was Goldman research done by one Jim O'Neill. He did some presentations saying that Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa will become an economic force to be reckoned with in future, in certain time. And he said so, because when you look at it, Brazil is a giant in South America, where you talk of so many things, Marco Polo, so many industries, not only football, but when you talk of things they do big vehicles and so on. They are forced to be reckoned with. Then you talk of Russia. Russia is a country that's standing on its own, apart from the armament that they produce and other things. Then you talk of India. In terms of tech, today in the whole world, India is, placing itself somewhere where, Then China. There is no home in the whole world that you don't have one product made in China and something like that. Then South Africa, in terms of the whole African countries, is the most industrialized country in Africa, and so on. So O'Neill he knew what will be of these countries, and they decided to say this. And when this country came together, they have their reason for coming together to make sure that what they have, because when you talk of G7 and other groups, it's either you are forming a political alliance to strengthen your power, or you are talking of economic alliance, how you will sell what you produce in your country to other people and make it known. These are the things. So I think I will stop here before we start talking about Nigeria.
Now, let me come to you. This time we want to talk about the economic aspect of it, because sincerely speaking, just like John stated, when you talk about the Brazil, the Russia, the India, the China, the South Africa, they all have something greater than Nigeria. I think the only thing...
I think so.
Yeah, economically.
Okay.
Economically. I think the only thing Nigeria has, maybe in little capacity, could be population. But even there, you have China and India. Okay. That's 2 point something, that's about 3 billion. And Brazil is even more in population than Nigeria. Russia is more in population than Nigeria.
You
understand?
Them,
you understand? So
about 50% of the
world population. You understand? So now, when you now say economically, what does Nigeria have to actually be in the ring of these first and second world countries economically? What does Nigeria tend to bring to the table?
We bring a lot. In terms of endowment, like we just pointed out, we are the largest black nation on the planet, the largest in sub-Saharan Africa, with a population that is projected to be among the top 5 countries in the world by 2050. So yes, Nigeria has a stake as far as the next generation. And mind you, while the rest of the world is experiencing a population decline in terms of an aging population, we are still among the countries of the world that is still going to experience a population bulge, with our youth, with our average population of about average population by age still hovering around 20-something years. So we still have the population that will drive the future economy when that time comes. And backing up that population argument is the skill set. Nigerians are known to be wonderful people, creative people, innovative people, doing great things in other parts of the world. So perhaps that may be another strength that is worth noting. Then we also have other endowments. Are we talking about minerals? Are we talking about oil and gas, diamond, gold?
But these countries have proper management of these resources. As Nigeria with.
You see, we are stating the positives. They may not be oblivious of the fact that we may have our own internal challenges, but they are looking, on what they stand to benefit as well. That the gains far outweigh whatever disadvantages or whatever challenges. That those challenges are surmountable. So as far as what Nigeria brings to the table, Nigeria is also a major player as far as
sorry, I'll have to cut in here, because when we talk about Nigeria as a nation, we are all Nigerians and we live in Nigeria, and there are realities on ground. I don't know, maybe whether when they join the BRICS, the other nations will feel the impact, but ndị Igbo si na na-esi n'ụlọ amalụ mma wele apilo. When Ajulu asked what we are going to bring to the table in terms of looking at the roles all these other countries play. Now, the question now is, Nigeria joining the BRICS, I don't know whether it's going to change the narratives we're already experiencing as a nation, or whether the other nations will now rub off on Nigeria to help them begin to look inwards and see what they can do for the citizens before going out there to play their own roles in terms of security, in terms of economy, which is the primary role of the BRICS.
Should I go on?
Yeah.
Well, you see, the exogenous factor, the external factor that drives development, recognizes the fact that because you have a role, a commitment with the external economy, the global economy, in terms of either bilateral or multilateral arrangements, that places a sense of responsibility on you to deliver. Because left for you alone, you may not do those things that are required of you, but these conditions will have to keep you on your toes for you to deliver. In order for you to benefit from that arrangement you want to participate in, like in the case of the BRICS. So we know that yes, we have our own peculiarities, our own realities as far as our economy is concerned, but so do other countries. And mind you, when we say BRICS, it doesn't make it look as if they all of them share similarities in total. If you look at the BRICS arrangement, most of them, the kind of system of government they run is quite different from what we are even practicing in the country. But has that stopped that alliance from making progress? The answer is no. So yes, the same way we have our own peculiarities, that's the same way other countries in the world, especially these member states of the BRICS, have their own challenges. But ours, like I keep mentioning, is something that is man-made. So it is correctable. But are we ready to correct it? Because looking at the bigger picture, we don't need to. Well, I want to conclude here so we can continue the conversation. But we stand to gain more than otherwise in terms of this partnership.
Well, let me come to Mr. John. You're saying that we tend to gain more, but then when you find an association that doesn't bear, you understand, the heavy weight, talking about the United States of America, talking about England, talking about France, don't you think, and these are the countries that Nigeria usually run to when it has to do with AIDS and the rest of it all, and now you're now forming an alliance, we understand, with BRICS. So economically, you understand, talking about aid that's US military aids and some other aids that even the UK gives to Nigeria. With this alliance, will it in any way hamper the benefits Nigeria will tend to have? And no, US and Russia are not on the same page. China and US are not either on the same page. And if Nigeria tends to form this alliance, is that going to affect what happens with the other global powers?
Yeah, Nigeria will be highly bombed. Just like somebody putting his hand on the fire, you will be highly burnt. Because what do you want to showcase? The present president of the U.S., that is Donald John Trump, has banned the AIDS, HIV support, which some countries in Africa get up to $280 million. He has banned that. South Africans, a lady was shouting the other day in South Africa that she's dying because of what America has just done. Nigeria too. I've not heard of Brazil economically. They may be all these things, but they are impoverished. There's a lot of poverty going on in Brazil. Then you go to India, the same thing. When you're crossing from Delhi, passing that river, getting to New Delhi, you see a lot of things happening in that place. So you feel for them. So one, maybe Nigeria has it in mind that they will sell their crude oil. The crude oil you are selling, it's better for Brazil to go to Venezuela and buy. It's cheaper for them than to come and bring oil from Africa, from West Africa down to that place. In terms of transportation, it's not going to be easy. Or you want China to come. Saudi Arabia, they are all there. Countries that have, their neighbors have oil. It's easier for them to get. Russia too. Tell me what we will bring to the table. I don't think we have anything. Is it insecurity?
All right. Now, I want us to go back a bit, for the benefit of people watching that may not really understand what BRICS is all about. How did it come about, and why did they come together in the first place? Okay, if you can help us.
Yeah,
you said something, but I want you to drive down the points for people to really understand who are these. What are they doing?
The BRICS, the BDR stand for the country called Brazil, which is in South America. Brazil is, I think their population now will soon hit up to 300 million, or if not above. Then Russia is in Europe. But they are not part of the European Union. They are there as a country on its own. Very powerful country. They have their own everything. Then you have India. India is also in Asia, like China. India is on their own there. In terms of tech, they are very high in ICT world. They and America. Most of the people in the US working there are Indians, doing marvelously well. They are Indians. So then the other one is China. Like I said, China, also in Asia, China produces everything you can think of. You talk of good phone, you get it in China. You talk of fake phone, you get it from China. Everything there, they have it. It's just like when you want to buy a phone, and let's say the phone is Nkechi's phone. Now you want to buy Nkechi's phone. What you enter China and tell them, they will ask you 3 questions. Which market do you want? The same phone. You tell them it's for American market. They will say you go to Songhai. You say it's for the European Union market. They say you go to Beijing. Then you now say Africa, they ask you which country in Africa. That's what they will ask you, which country in Africa. Now, you tell them Nigeria, because there are some countries that are ahead of us in terms of their market dealing. You say Nigeria, they say go to Gonzalo. You get the same phone, the same thing, at a cheaper rate. But by the time they start moving, because what shows a vehicle that a vehicle is stronger is when it's on the road. Then you now know that this vehicle is very strong, and so on. So now, Nigeria is coming in, maybe because they want to bring in their, you'll find that Nigeria is highly indebted than any other country now. Before they write their budget, they will tell you they want to go and borrow from so and so. And funny enough, Nigeria has not gone to any of these countries in BRICS to ask for loan.
They will soon do, because they have a BRICS. I mean, they have NDB. They have NDB, a bank that aids.
Yeah, they have
funding.
a bank. They have a bank, a financial institution.
Yeah, a financial that aids infrastructural development in member countries.
So that is where Nigeria is aiming at. Nothing there, because there's nothing we are bringing to the table. We are aiming at that particular place to be able to. Like he rightly said, he said the problem of Nigeria is not a natural problem. It's being caused by leadership. So if tomorrow Nigeria puts the house in order and have a leadership that has sense of economy, that have sense of management, that have sense of administration, then there will be, Nigeria will come back as a great nation. You understand? But as of today, all these things that is happening, no way.
Well, you might think that Nigeria doesn't have anything to offer, but then Nigeria probably has a lot to gain.
To gain,
You understand? And now, for a government that actually means well for its citizens, you understand? BRICS, being an associate or being a partner with BRICS will definitely bring about security, will definitely bring about advancement in your technology. Just like you rightly said, India is high-tech, would bring about production, which China has. So let's say maybe on that split is why Nigeria is going to form this alliance or probably be part of BRICS. We have the largest market in Africa. And China has the largest manufacturing hub in the entire world.
That was then. The question I want to ask you is that, ask yourself a question. How many people leave any part of Nigeria to come to Onitsha to buy something again? Insecurity. Can you go to Kano and say you want to go and buy cheddar, what do you call this? Fabric in Kano? No, you won't do that. Can you go to Maiduguri and say you want to go and buy weaved clothes? You cannot do that again. Insecurity has caused that problem. So which production, what are we talking of bringing in something? They are not going to bring anything because we have to fight for security. And don't forget that in Brazil has the worst unrest. You can't put on chain as a woman or this thing in Brazil and be walking, it will be taken away from you. You won't even know when they have taken it. It's as bad as that. Young boys will stop you on the road of Sao Paulo and with gun and take your wristwatch and take your shoe. It's as bad as that in Brazil. If they had that security, they would have helped Brazil to have that peace.
All right. Now, some authorities in our nation, Nigeria, has come up to say that Nigeria joining BRICS could unlock critical opportunities in trade, investment, and agriculture. So, do you think this is true? If it's true, how?
Definitely. When you, like he rightly pointed out, there are many strengths that we may need to tap into from the BRICS arrangement as far as this thing is concerned. Because we know Russia for its military might and the rest. We know China for their technology and the rest. We know Brazil for agric and for other manufacturing. Then India for medical supplies and the ICT as well. because the ICT, the Indian population is indirectly turning to the backbone of Silicon Valley in the US. Because if you go to the top 10 ICT firms in the US, about 6 or 7 of them are headed by Indians.
Yes.
So that shows you the strength that they are
Google
pouring
into
into this area. So we stand to benefit a lot in terms of trade, because these countries, they have about they control about 30% of the BRIC countries, 30% of the global GDP, running above I think $40 trillion. So that's a very big market for us to explore. Remember that Africa, we just set up this Africa Continental Free Trade Arrangement to make the African market one. But that African market is just about $3.8 trillion. So with this BRICS arrangement, we are entering a bigger pool, a bigger market that we can exploit. And also give Nigeria the opportunity to take its diversification agenda, economic diversification and industrialization agenda seriously. Because we know that we are not a manufacturing powerhouse. So on the one hand, we can encourage technology transfer that can encourage these guys to come into the country and set up industries and manufacturing hubs, and help us to fully exploit our resources. Resources in terms of, for instance, our agri sector. We know that we are mostly exporting raw agri produce that command very little price in the international market. So how then do we use this technology transfer that we hope to benefit from to improve the way we add value, our value chain system in the agricultural sector. In terms of investment, we know that these guys have, in terms of purchasing power parity, their GDP is about close to $35 trillion. So now, what is that signaling to us? That yes, these guys have the resources to put in. Remember that countries like China on its own have been flexing their economic muscle in terms of aids, grants, debt extension to developing countries, including Nigeria. Though those on the West will tell you that this is another way of recolonizing these people using debt. But all the same, if we tap into that BRICS arrangement, it can open up another pool of financial resources which we dearly need as an economy.
All right, you hold it.
Our exchange rate is a mess, and we need these kind of investments to not only come and trigger productivity, but also help us to stabilize our financial system.
All right, we'll get back to that as an economist. We have a lot to tell us there. The program is still Good Morning Anambra Show, and we're looking at the implication of Nigeria acceptance as BRICS partner. At this point, we take a very short break. The program returns after now. Do join us again.
Now in BRICS, many people are asking, what does this mean to our economy, our businesses, and even our everyday life? Come with me. Let's hear what Nigerians think.
We don't stand to get anything per se, because currently most of our aids are from America and Europe, the G7 nations. That's where we get our aids from. So I think if BRICS, if they are to show that we should gain something for them, I mean, it's Brazil, China, Russia, South Africa. They should be giving us aid before joining. And we're not joining as member nations. We're joining as like, how do I put it? We're not like core member nations. We're like, okay, let's just give them a chair. Let's just see, let's make them believe they are among and all those stuff. So we're not like core member nations of BRICS. I think we don't have much to gain from joining BRICS.
We have our own problem here. So let us try and settle our problem here before we join other people. We have many things, indigenous problem that we need to settle instead of joining BRICS. To me, it's not necessary now. Let us come home and settle our problem, insecurity and other things that is holding us here, than running to join BRICS. It doesn't make sense to me.
When people join together, there's some benefit. Nigeria is a member of the Commonwealth. Nigeria is a member of, they used to have the third world countries with their members before. So all these things, they are good. It will help Nigeria, some countries like China and Russia. There's a leverage that can help in our economy. Nigeria should not rely only on the West. The West are very hypocritical. They are not very serious about what they're doing. So if Nigeria join the West and join the East and join everything, it's for our best interest. So it's the best for this country. So because Nigeria is non-allied, we should not ally with any group. You know, they used to have what they call Russian group and the American group. They used to have those two groups. And Nigeria is a non-allied country. So we have the right to join with any nation that can benefit our economy, that can benefit our people. So what they did is in the right, they did the right thing. So that's the main thing. If they see another person that can help us to be able to develop our economy, there's nothing wrong. If you see what's happening in America now, they are deporting our people. If our people can go to Russia, can go to Brazil, go there, develop and come back with power, I think it's the best. Is the best thing for us.
We've just heard the views of the people on the implications of Nigeria's acceptance as BRICS partner. I am Fortune Aluko. Remember, the future belongs to those who prepare for it today, and Nigeria belongs to all of us.
Fortune Aluko for that voice pop. Actually, Nigeria belongs to every one of us here, and we've heard it from our street parliamentarians, everybody giving his own idea of Nigeria's acceptance into BRICS. But then, I still want to ask these questions because when you're coming to form such alliance with other superpowers, and then when you begin to talk about your sovereignty, the regional body where Nigeria stays in, is part of in ECOWAS in Nigeria, in Africa, all of a sudden 3 countries are opting out of it, and then we are now having Nigeria, as in the regional superpower, now forming an alliance. Wouldn't the BRICS members begin to ask, how come you can't even take care of your own enclave? You can't even harmonize your people to form the ECOWAS that you are in. You're having breakaways, and now you're coming to form a bigger alliance.
To join.
Yeah, somehow, wouldn't that seem like you can't take care of your own self, and then you're coming to form a bigger alliance? That's one question for you. And then now, talking about losing the sovereignty of your own nation, because there is no how you be part of BRICS. You won't alter your foreign policies in order to be in tune with what happens there. What do you have to say about that?
You're just saying the right thing. When you talk of, you are talking of Burkina Faso,
Niger
and Mali. They are being sponsored by one of the nations in BRICS. That's the truth of the matter. They're being sponsored. So it's a kind of contradiction that France used Nigeria to deal with Niger, and now only to find out that the same Nigeria is joining BRICS. France itself would be, the European Union would feel bad and say, what? We thought we are together, we are this. But don't forget that this is a new colonialism. That's what is coming up now. It started right from time. It's new colonialism because they've done the colonialism before. Now a new one is coming, that if you can feed me, I will take care. If you can take care of my economic woes, I'll be part and parcel of you. I'll be part. That is exactly what is playing now. So Nigeria already has joined this because America has decided to do one thing. America is not coming out like they used to do in those days. Because what America and Britain did was to make sure that our economy died. I remember when I traveled to US, I had 596 naira to $1,000 as my BTA. 500, that is 59 naira, less than 60 naira as your distance to $1. $1. That was the country we made Nigeria at that particular time. And Nigeria as a country was going out to ask some nations, what can we do for you? And that was why when I look at what happened when Mandela died, Nigeria was not mentioned. Nigeria was not given that recognition that they should. Nigeria did everything. They took money from workers at that particular time to make sure that apartheid is ended. Then in Zimbabwe, with Joshua Nkomo, we found out that everybody supported Mugabe's government during the time of Iron Smith when he was there. Nigeria did a lot. I remember Murtala Mohammed and Obasanjo's government. They did a lot to make sure that Nigeria showed that they are big brothers. Nigeria did all these things. We had that same. Nigeria has not changed. Though we have had that population, we are looking for the day a sane man will be at the throne of leadership of this country. That day is the day we are praying for, so that Nigeria will come back to its normal glory.
All right, you hold it there. I think when an average Nigerian is watching this program, they'll be like, what are these people saying? You know, because everything boils down in the trickling down effect of what Nigeria stands to gain from BRICS. From the Vox Pop we watched, somebody was actually of the opinion that it's going to help our economy. Now my question is, do we see any possibility of the effect of joining BRICS trickling down to the common man on the streets of Nigeria? Ekesobi.
Yes, that is his question.
Is there any possibility?
The truth is, you know, it was, I think it was Ronald Reagan that popularized this trickle-down economics. I think Reagan will be turning in his grave now to see the way we are, countries like Nigeria, we are abusing that wonderful terminology or the intention behind that statement. But going to the question, yes, if the answer is a conditional answer. If we put our house in order, definitely joining the BRICS arrangement will be beneficial to us. The benefits far outweigh the costs as far as I'm concerned. But it is how we now internalize these benefits that he was trying to arrive at, saying that it depends on the quality of our leadership. Yes. Because you need an intentional, a committed, a transparent leadership to drive the benefit of joining these BRICS. Because one thing we have to agree with is that there is no country that you don't have poor people who are struggling. But the question is, what is their number?
What are they struggling with?
Yes.
What are they struggling with? Exactly.
What are they struggling with? Because if you go to these countries, you see that China, for instance, you know, in the space of 3 decades or thereabout, we're able to move almost 500 million of their population away from poverty. So all these other countries have something similar. It is not as if India is. Let me even interject you.
What these countries have in similarity is huge investment in education. Is Nigeria willing to invest in that?
That's what I'm saying. That this is conditional, because if you look at, I was coming to India. I said, look, India has a population of over 1 billion.
The highest now.
Yes, and
they are beating China.
And you will not. And the way they conduct their election is very seamless. The last election they had,
900 million voters
that brought back money. You see, these things are very intentional. Nigeria, we are still discussing on whether we should have a census or not. So you see, all this thing boils down to the institutional quality we have. And what are those things we use to measure institutional quality? Government effectiveness. What's it called? Respect for the rule of law. Absence of corruption. What's this other one again? So basically, you see that on those indicators, we have a problem. And it is now for our leaders. You see, Nigerians, we like, what do we call this thing again in economic planning? Plan disillusionment. We like this situation where it makes it look as if we are doing something when we are not doing anything. When you come out, you say we have those days, they'll tell you Vision 2000, Vision 2050. As if 2020 will not come. Now we have passed 2020. What happened to those visions? Did we go blind along the way? So now we just want to make it look as if, let it not appear that we are trying to make it look as if, okay, now joining the BRICS, we appear a serious this thing. Nation. The whole world is talking about climate change. We have gone to sign the agreement. We don't know what we are signing. It's just because everybody is doing it, we now feel that we should do it. So maybe they see BRICS as the next big thing. So let us join the party before it leaves us behind. But how prepared are we? What is our strategy?
No, the bigger question now is what is it supposed to be? We are joining this BRICS. What are we supposed to go there to do? What are we supposed to go there to bring home for people to learn from?
To seek strategic partnerships, strategic alliances. Look, whether we like it or not, the unipolar, what do you call it, international economic order is changing. So now we have new realignments and alignments taking place that we set up a new world order. You see the forces that is coming from the American side. You see the forces that is coming from the European side, and the rise of populism that we are seeing there. So what is our strategy? Not just Nigeria, but Africa as well. Why is it that we always wait for others to arrange them before we now join in? So the thing is, we need to tell ourselves the truth. That, look, internally, that we need to do our homework. We don't just go to the BRICS because everybody is going there. We're going there with this dependency mindset that, look, if provided you can feed us, provided you can feed us, you can tell us what to do. No, we need to jettison that mentality and come up with a framework, and that we tell ourselves,
as the giant of Africa, yes, that we are.
We tell ourselves that, look, as far as, because mind you, the BRICS arrangement, you see, Nigeria, like he also pointed out earlier, Nigeria is in this alignment it places us in a very delicate position, because the BRICS arrangement, whether we like it or not, is like a rebellion. I don't want to call it that, but it looks like that, because it is an arrangement that, first and foremost, is going against the current economic order, the G7 arrangements. And they want to be taken seriously as a new economic powerhouse.
Just when you're lobbying to be in the G20.
So that's it now. So
of the United Nations, now you're asking for BRICS.
So again. You're asking for BRICS again. On another BRICS, you're asking for a permanent seat in the United Nations Security Council.
And even our own AU, what have we been able to do with that?
But the issue is this. While we are doing all these things, are we thinking through these things properly? That, look, what is the kind of education we need to give ourselves, to our children, that will make us competitive in a world that is going towards AI, artificial intelligence, robotics, machine learning, and the rest of them? What are we doing to make sure that we leverage these same our human endowments to make sure that they are not the SAPA we are experiencing now is not leading to JAPA? How do we break that disconnect that is making our people to leave this country in droves? So we need to wake up to this reality and stop living in this denial.
Now, to even add to that, your president, Donald Trump, has come up to say BRICS should just kill the idea of having their own currency.
Common currency.
That they should just kill the idea that the currency the world trades on is the American dollars and nothing.
That's
you understand?
After the second world.
You understand? So nothing will make America become the second currency to be spent, even if you guys have 30% of the world's population. That American dollar will still be the dollar that the BRICS country will
like you pointed out now, after the World War and the rearrangement that took place then, the world leaders then took the United States dollar as the global currency, moving away from the gold standard we had then. So, but now, this rebellion, I want to call it that, what it is trying to say, okay, we have a different currency. Because using that dollar has many implications. Transaction costs, financial, what's it called? Friction, this rigidity that you experience in.
And they are sure the ones that are coming up with will not have such rigidity.
No. This time around, that's why I'm saying it's an alternative. And the road to that, for instance, for the dollar system to work, we created the IMF. So now these people have come on the IMF World Bank arrangement. Yes. So now, and the IMF and World Bank, the leadership is determined by Europe, that is for the IMF, and the US for the World Bank. None of us has any input on that. So the BRICS arrangement is saying, no, let us have this BRICS development bank that you now call this new development bank. So that is comes as a forerunner to the arrangement that they intend to have when it comes to their own currency. And the US is feeling threatened already. The Eurozone is already in chaos, whether we like it or not. What is happening, Germany is no longer what it used to be. France is having issues. France is having issues with its former allies, francophone countries, former colonies, and even countries like Italy are even accusing countries like France for using for infusing themselves into the monetary system of their former colonies in Africa, where they can, anytime they experience any shock, they just go there and pick monies, and so all these things put together, then you have what Russia and co are trying to do, with this rebellion now that is going on again in this African countries.
And China telling you that to do business with them, you have to go currency swap with yen.
So you see, all these things now have, it then means that we should have thinkers as our leaders, because if we miss it this time around, that the world is experiencing another economic recalibration, if we miss it now, I don't think it will take us another century to get back on our feet.
Our time is fast spent, but with the release of Trump on his X handle, this seems like a power tussle, who becomes the world power and whatever. But our prayer here as broadcaster is that they don't stifle the common man. Let's just no, they don't stifle the common man, Actually, BRICS or no BRICS, our prayer is that things will work out fine. Nigeria should be great again. No nobody is talking about prayer here. Actually,
you said our prayer
nobody prayer court. Don't they say prayer in court? Prayer is a relative word.
I know. In the Nigerian context.
No.
You are talking about the prayer.
They may think of anything, but what I'm saying is that the common man should not be.
Let them know what we are talking about. That our expectation is not even a prayer. Our expectation is that we take these things seriously and we come to realization and start.
All right, we can go on and on, but this much time could allow us to take on the program for this morning. Ajula?
Yeah, that's it. But then at the same time, we're talking about BRICS joining, forming alliance. Sincerely speaking, I still maintain the fact that we need to get our house in order in every aspect of it: educational, electrical,
economy,
reforms, security.
We have house. We don't have house.
Security, health, infrastructure. Sincerely speaking, it's like bringing somebody from the slums to come and just be living in the posh area of a city.
All right.
That's the way I see this whole thing. And no disrespect to Nigeria. But then I want to say a big thank you to our guest this morning, talking about the guest that we had to come.
Dr. Chukwunonse Kesiobi is a lecturer, Department of Economics, Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
And thank you so much for being here, John Ifejirika. Ifejika, we are glad we had you on the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for always answering us. And that's it on the Good Morning Anambra for now. We thank you for the discussion segment.
The show still continues.